Welcome back, everybody, to VCT Game Changers APAC Elite. We're going to take a break from our lower bracket run and return to our upper bracket where we have Team SMG versus FULLSENSE Sapphire. This is a big match here, and myself, Mika Fabs, and Colden are here on the panel desk, virtual panel desk, rather. And Colden, what are you thinking about our upcoming match here? It is a big one, and it is one that one of those matches that I think have characterized the Game Changers APAC scene for quite a while.
Yeah, I think this is the storied matchup that has been going on for the longest time. I mean, if you go back and look at all the other opens that, throughout the year, 1, 2, 3, you see them face off each other multiple times, and it has always gone in the way of SMG. FULLSENSE Sapphire still yet to crack the code, although they are the ones that have been, the closest at cracking that code, right? They are the ones that actually had, in my opinion, have the best chance of beating SMG, and I think now more than ever, right, stakes on the line. This is where it all matters. All your previous results, right, you can throw it out the window because it doesn't matter. Now this is the game that matters, this match, and potentially the one in the grand finals. And if they can take down SMG today, I think it would definitely spice up the entire tournament and make the living hell in the lower brackets.
You're saying you're ready for another upset here? I wouldn't
we've
exactly.
Seen it in the first game.
Yeah. I wouldn't exactly call this like an upset because like both of these teams are incredibly cracked, right? You do have Team SMG that hasn't lost a single match yet this entire 2023. That's an amazing run in itself. And you do have our defending champions, I would guess, for like the Game Changers champion circuit, which is FULLSENSE Sapphire. They were our representatives during 2022 when they went to Berlin, right? So there's a lot at stake here, and of course it is the first slot to the grand finals that is at stake. Ever closer to being the representative again for FULLSENSE Sapphire and finally representing the APAC region for Team SMG. It's very poetic indeed. It's like, would Game Changers APAC Elite be complete without this kind of face-off, right? And we'll take a closer look at Team SMG first. They're a roster that has been unbent, unbowed, and unbroken, undefeated so far this 2023. Let's take a closer look at these ladies.
I mean, is there anything more to say about this star-studded roster? I mean, every time they've taken to the stage, they play with the utmost of confidence that, like, we've never seen a team in Game Changers, right? They are the team that really wants to make an era of themselves, go the distance, go the mile. And I think it starts here, right? Showing dominance in this upper finals up against the toughest opponent that, they've experienced in this entire year so far. And to them, another day in the office, I guess. Another one on the tally.
Yeah, another victory to for the run so far, right? It's you look at their record, it's all green on their side. It's like it's complete, and I don't think they plan on stopping right now. But of course, as you mentioned, Colden, if there's any team that has the best chance of doing that, of finally getting that red mark against the sea of green that Team SMG has, it is FULLSENSE Sapphire. So let's take a closer look at this roster, the former champions looking to take back their crown.
I mean, FULLSENSE Sapphire, that team that has been so close to the top, and a couple of interesting compositions that we've seen them play so far in the lead has got my eyes, looking at their direction, and really, really interested to see what they have in store for us here today. And yeah, I mean, again, Ginny leading the helm of this amazing roster, Alyssa being that sentinel that they've always relied on, and Baby TZ actually opting to play more of that flex role. I'm really liking to see what this new, I guess, look of Sapphire has come to be. They have slightly changed up a bit, but they still keep that classy, iconic playstyle.
Absolutely love that you brought that up because, that is one thing unique about this matchup, right? Well, but hold on, we are going to Lotus, we are going to Split, and potentially Haven. I was actually hoping that we would expect a little bit of Sunset and Breeze because given the history of these two teams, like they've gone through everything at this point, right? So I thought they might throw each other a Breeze and a Sunset just to make things a little different. But anyway, going back to that point, SMG have not faced Sapphire with Alyssa on the team, right? And this also means they have not faced Sapphire with Baby TZ as initiator, as you brought up. It may be something that's just a little bit different, although I don't doubt that Team SMG can adjust to it very, very quickly, but it's still a different dynamic, right? It's still something that maybe, there are movements that they might not read as well as they did with the previous roster that they were always up against this entire circuit. So who knows? It might be like the most difficult matchup that Team SMG has had yet, because as we saw from, I believe it was Alexi in a previous interview, they said that things aren't that spicy yet.
Okay, I mean, she's just teeing us up for a great game today. I'm expecting some chaos on Lotus, and yeah, I guess we'll just have to sit back and watch the action happen.
As if we haven't had enough chaos on Lotus today, Golden.
More chaos.
We are in for even more, and we're loving it. And it looks like we have a mirror matchup. Baby TZ back on the Killjoy, and it looks as though we're going for a double control on both sides.
Yeah, double control, I think it's nothing new. We've seen it on the first series as well.
Especially on Lotus,
a lot of teams like to opt for this. Yeah, a lot of chances for the Viper to actually implement lurks as well. The Vey is an interesting pick, right? It synergizes really well with the Rays, with the paint shells to gain map control at the start of the round. So I'm going to be looking towards that duo, that dynamic duo on both teams, right? I think whichever team can synergize those agents the best might come out with a decent lead, because it's not the easiest, but also very effective if done correctly.
Yeah, all those little tight corners, right? And it's like when you have a Prowler coming at you and Paint Shells following it up, it gets really, really uncomfortable, and you might as well run away, right? But nobody is running away from this match, because of course, this is pretty much the El Clasico of game changers, right? Team SMG versus FULLSENSE Sapphire. We're gonna throw it over to Dax and Blue this time around.
Well, that's a duo we're very accustomed to, and Mika especially has been all throughout the year. But this is it, my friend. This is it, folks. The Clash of Champions has finally arrived, and it's, of course, in the upper bracket finals. Before anything else, though, I am Dax, here with my usual partner in crime. A little bit off to my different side this time. Black and Blue. Hello, buddy. Yeah.
Well, hijinks be abound, and it's there's going to be a lot of that here today. Serious point in hand, this is probably a preview of what most were expecting to be the grand finals. You got one, the reigning champions defending the belt, and the other undisputed, undefeated for the most part, challengers to the throne, and they're both in orange.
Pretty much the queens of the opens in Team SMG versus the empresses of elites in FULLSENSE Sapphire. This has been a long time coming, and if you look at the stats, you look at the records, Sapphire has been the only exception versus Team SMG. And you look at this map pool, Black and Blue, and I really like it for FULLSENSE Sapphire, because they have beaten Team SMG on each of these maps individually. Yes, SMG has always taken the series. Yes, they have been spotless so far in the whole match itself. But on a map basis, FULLSENSE has taken Lotus away from them. FULLSENSE has taken Split away from them. FULLSENSE has taken Haven away from them. And I do wonder now what we will get here in this matchup.
Well, we've seen SMG give it back just as many times as Zay's taken it as well in the past. FULLSENSE Sapphire this time have to find every gem to continue on, take that final early here. As we move on to the pistol decks, you can see, look at the defense already here from SMG, just wanting to squeeze away early map control. But importantly, last time we saw SMG here on Lotus, that was during Open 3, where you'd have Alexi typically on that duelist, on that Raze. It's Ineri this time at the forefront.
Yeah, it's such a big swap up in composition. As our panel mentioned a while ago, it is a mirror matchup, but you look at FULLSENSE, they're more accustomed to this kind of roster. You got Baby TZ yet again ready to excel on her signature Killjoy, while Alyssa moves over to the Viper instead. And I do wonder, this has to be all about preparation right now for Team SMG, especially with head coach Colbat ready for those kind of practices if ever. Janido already paid on a siege. Perfect, as you mentioned. Cameo though on top of things towards Rubble. Pain Shells is the answer. Paranoia is there too, but SMG, they back away with a pick.
That was a great seize as well. Good capitalization there off of the opportunity created. And SMG just have the advantage right now. They can tell this B-side hit is to come anyway, Stacks. I mean, FULLSENSE, yeah, they can be overpowered for the plant, but the retake's going to be... the hold against it's going to be a different question.
Yeah, Alarmbot gets a lot of intel, but no one even is off. Instead, FULLSENSE able to get the plant down. Cameo though quick yet again. She was stellar in their last series versus Ragnarok X. Now it's time for her to try and go for more, but maybe one shut that down. Ginny in the forefront, all alone now here for Muffin. 1v3. It's a desperate scenario, sure, but the swings do come. Kohaib working together with Shirazi there, and SMG will take the pistol.
Well, the way to do it as well. You see them kind of putting up the one way there, and knowing there's a gap that you can potentially cross to with that Viper wall right at the corner of the entry from a Rubble. And that's exactly where they throw the C's at here. See, perfect. 3 connecting. If they had any more util to throw that way, if they still had a Paint Shell on the Neri, would have been potentially a triple immediately there. But, I mean, they reap what they sow. They start off with the advantage and they end it with it as well.
Yeah, and Team SMG, they're always there to play an immediate, I'd say, burst, usually at the start of these maps. We know FULLSENSE Sapphire is a team that's very prepped. They love to go for their set plays. They love to have their setups initially. And SMG is that kind of team that throws a wrench in those plans early on.
Well, SMG have definitely shown that the way that they play has been by far the most effective here in the APAC scene, and for very good reason. Those type of intuitive decisions that are to be made, even if they're not always a set play per se, protocols on how to deal with possibilities. SMG are the best at that so far, but FULLSENSE the only one to put up any sort of struggle for SMG to try and take down. See how they kind of deal with this though in the eco.
Yeah, protocols are one thing, but talent is also just out of this world for this roster. And speaking of, we're watching Shirazi now going to catch the cross, find first. Muffin though so quick on the trade. If anyone can actually do the thing here versus SMG, it has to be Muffin herself. Cameo though on the board, the firepower here for SMG.
30 seconds
Keeping
left.
good tabs on FULLSENSE Sapphire. A slow crawl now here for the offense to try and make their way towards C. Alyssa at the jump peak. Pretty cheeky with the classic. Big shot, sure, but damage is coming the way of SMGs instead. 2-0 now for the defense.
Yeah, so good damage done. At least initially. Not able to confirm the kill, but hey, you take what you can. And moving on forward here, FULLSENSE, when you actually look at their Lotus, they are one of the only teams that are literally so consistent that their numbers throughout the year are neck and neck for the attack and defensive side. So they're not really that type of team who are kind of a one-sided coin. They know how to play both sides of the table here, of that edge. And so if you're FULLSENSE, even though they might not be doing too well to start off the attacking side, I don't wager that's going to continue for too long.
Bro, just give them the guns and they'll look to perform from that point on. I just want to make this case though real quick. FULLSENSE Sapphire, as a team, I feel like they excel so much more on the defense because that's where their protocols and their utility usage gets a bit more value compared to their offense. So right now, them starting on the attacking side, especially starting off versus Team SMG, they're just gonna try and shake off a little bit of that ring rust. Nano Swarm though pop. Seems like Kohaib, as per usual, stalling with utility early on.
I mean, as he's typically been known for here, just be a big hurdle for the attacking side to try and hop on over. Showstopper early on for Muffin already, but obviously nobody really giving themselves up to be a victim of that cause. Fish for one. Connects actually on Muffin here. Almost finds a second, but Shirazi on the follow-up is perfect on the trade.
Yeah, SMG can work from this. Now moving in towards holes. It's a 4v3. The gun disparity is clear, but the numbers don't lie. SMG might have the advantage. Someone's there from Mineri. She gets two for a trouble before the Niles one burns her down. And SMG, they breach, they clear, and they win the bonus too.
Oh, just strong-arming it, aren't they there? With the player count heavily in their favor. Big pickoff from Kohaibi, and just the support from Shirazi. Perfectly on time. Sublime the way that they're able to do it as well. Giving up the site, they know that Showstopper is to come. Recognizing the tools at hand on the opposition and what they've got in retaliation. And the Thrifty as well to shut down. Coming from the bonus. I mean, it is a bonus, but it wasn't the most invested one either, so you pick yours.
It's basically a 5-finger discount by this point. Black and blue. Free guns, we take it. Showstopper's gone as well, and things are looking clear for Team SMG. If you notice in the stats, actually, of all the players for Team SMG, the most who has the first kills isn't Ineri. It's Kohaibi. She's had 15 all throughout 2 series. She added 1 more in that last round. And comparing it, of course, to FULLSENSE Sapphire, where Muffin has the most first kills, not just for the team, but all throughout the tournament so far in 2 series. Well, SMG, that backline is where you have to be wary if you are FULLSENSE.
I believe that's also because, well, on the defensive side, yeah, she might be first contact sometimes as that Sentinel and anchor things down. But on the attacking side, her lurk, her roaming game, it's so important and throws so many teams off guard that she constantly gets these kind of first picks off from the kind of weaker side of the map. And it just breaks down defenses really effectively. They are on the defense now, at the very least. And FULLSENSE would struggle to really get themselves into a springboard location. C is looking like their best bet so far.
Yeah, and we see this a lot from FULLSENSE when they're struggling. They try to look for a few overextensions versus their opponent. But SMG, we've seen really under the guidance of a lot more discipline right now in their approach. The Nightfall is there, and Muffin now with the clear yet again, using the blastbacks to make their way towards the side. Shirazi, though, angle taken a while ago by Kohaibi. Does she find the same bit of success? Spike planted, SMG waiting for numbers before they retake.
They're using the smoke, which, once more, it doesn't necessarily block off the entirety of CT. It's more for kind of wrestling control away, burn a bit more time. We're gonna see how effective it really is in transition, though. 2 for 2 on either side.
Yeah, decent damage done for FULLSENSE already. SMG playing it a little bit slow too. Shirazi on the board. Muffin with the third. A chance now here for Sapphire. Navigating in the water. Shirazi looking for another target, but they're still keeping tabs. Sapphire, they're in good angles right now to bother the Steve 2v1. And Shirazi doesn't see Baby Easy coming. A thrifty win to answer back against bonus. FULLSENSE back on the board here.
Oh, they escape as well with the Vandals, so definitely value taken from that round. Thrifty, of all things, is what converts here for FULLSENSE Sapphire. And I believe off the top of my noggin, because I can create numbers out of thin air.
Okay, give me some numbers.
I think FULLSENSE are one of the best we've had this entire year, I remember, in converting those thrifty rounds, even against a team like SMG.
Absolutely. Once they lose a bonus, you always need to be careful of that
round 4.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and especially Muffin. She's the only one who has broken the streak of SMG in the opens. Every single open, barring open 2, SMG has always had the highest ACS overall for a player. The only one who stopped that, FULLSENSE Sapphire open 2, Muffin herself. And speaking of, she's ready yet again to let it rip. Moving over towards the side, Cameo right now, breaking that doorway. And FULLSENSE Sapphire, this is their site to take. SMG will respect it.
Hey, I even remember that comfortability in the thrifty and the eco start during X10 Sapphire days before they were on this FS squad, so always been a comfort for them. She has to get this opening pick. Great double swing, and she connects it there. Shuts down and control the B upper now.
Listen though, the re-addition. Let's see what she can do. Gets the 1, gets the 2! And And an easy summation of hearts there for FULLSENSE Sapphire. The match checks out. They have the advantage. Kohibi waiting over onto the corner, but the snake fights are so strong for the stall. Paulie, though, has the angle. Paulie has the kill. And FULLSENSE Sapphire gets the second round.
Just clearly spreading their roots all throughout that site. And SMG just not ready for it, as FULLSENSE, they could definitely tell here that the flank was coming in anyways. They knew, and Neri and Alexi were right on their trail, and Alyssa, as you mentioned it, latter edition, but current, just incredible player, was giving them so much value already. FULLSENSE here on the attack, looking to tie up the game against Eco.
Yeah, the re-addition of Alyssa has helped out FULLSENSE Sapphire, I feel like in more ways than one. The fact that she's able to play Sentinel alongside Baby TZ, the fact that she's also a Thai player so for full Thai roster here for FULLSENSE Sapphire, the language barrier perhaps a lot easier nowadays, and the kills, they come their way even quicker. So 2 down here for SMG, who are on a eco state. A Bucky sure for Neri, some sheriffs on hand, but for Sapphire, it's so clear-cut. They get the picks, they move away.
Here.
It's all they need. No need to double dip, you know the rules. Yeah. Of course, SMG. Would love for that to happen, but
bro,
it comes.
It's common courtesy, man. Please don't double dip whenever we share food.
Why not?
Bring them down.
The dip is for everyone. Come on.
The dip is for everyone.
The dip is for everyone.
Well, obviously this round is not for everybody.
Yeah, it's mostly for FULLSENSE. It's kind of all them. Unless in there she has a showstopper. I watched that last series a while ago. These things can get big value towards the side from Neri now. Snake bite. Yeah, a small little gap. Does she dare cross? Oh, oh. Okay, there's this. I think that snake bite's better.
Yeah, that should lock it down for sure. Sees. Does it connect? Doesn't actually connect. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, with a shotgun, no way.
No way. And FULLSENSE Sapphire, they made that round so secure, and exactly what we're talking about. You look at the start, SMG 3-0. They won the bonus. It's looking rough for FULLSENSE. This is a team that is so calm, collected, and sometimes people forget this is the squad that went to that global stage.
Yeah, let's not forget too as well that, you know, you look at the opposing side here, the star that Neri is from the former, you know, AECL team. SMG are following a very, very, how do I say this, familiar storyline in that last year everybody was touting AECL to be the team, Ultra Ego Celeste to be the team to make it, to go into champs, be the reps of APAC, because they won everything. Open 1, 2, 3, all the way through, no real problem, much akin to SMG are doing now. And they won all the way through as well into the grand finals, much akin to SMG could be doing now. And yet, at the end, X10, Sapphire at that time, are the ones to take him down. And that was in a year where they looked shaky at moments, very shaky at moments. But yet FULLSENSE Sapphire this time around, this entire year, they've looked absolutely much more improved, I guess.
And I feel like it was a different performance back in Open 3 when they lost to R2 Kaguya. You go back to Open 2, the only team that went that was 1-2 versus SMG, 2-3 in the grand finals. It went that close. So everyone who's been tuning in towards the year so far, I've been saying FULLSENSE Sapphire is the team that has the biggest chance to beat Team SMG. And SMG, on the other hand, we've seen in the latter half of the year, Black and Blue, discipline is where it's most needed. Discipline is what they're building because they don't want to repeat the mistakes of Alter Ego Celeste from last year.
Oh, for sure. Can't get complacent. Can't get too overconfident. See the hold here, though, from SMG, obviously. Prowler does its job, spots out the setup. Actually being played with here towards C-Mound. I don't wager they're going to commit to that. A is actually... could be a prime target for them, even with all of Kohibi's utility there. There's still decisions to be made.
Yeah, Smokeout also just making sure SMG get away from that mount position. Instead, FULLSENSE Sapphire moving across towards A, setting up the smoke towards the staircase. And with a double control setup here, it's looking pretty strong for FULLSENSE if they can make their way towards the site from the shadows to add even more confirmation. This now triggers the utility courtesy of Kohibi. Answer also with the lockdown. Paulie swinging, wins for shots. Paulie with a second. Where did those kills even come from? And from that point on, FULLSENSE have a big advantage that they can work with. Spikes down, lockdowns there, and space created here by FULLSENSE.
FULLSENSE, they're looking activated more so than ever here. Looking to take over the lead as well. Lockdown expires, but it's done its job. Burning out time even further. Muffin connects. You talked about her name, and you can see exactly why in her game. Just such a force to be reckoned with. Getting things going and ending it as well in swift motion. That's FULLSENSE taking the round now, and SMG, they lose the lead here. And this, remember, it all rallied behind a thrifty eco win.
Absolutely. It's a 4-round streak for FULLSENSE Sapphire on their map pick. And maybe they're thinking, how dare SMG copy our composition? Why do we see a mirror matchup right now? Because FULLSENSE Sapphire are the masters of their craft. We've seen for the past 4 rounds, stellar rotates, great utility usage, and especially how Muffin gets in there so much cleaner than anyone else we've seen here in Elite.
It's certainly been a problem for SMG here so far in this opening map. Kind of struggling to deal with now, like the slower default that FULLSENSE have been pressing on them. 2 rifles to work with.
Oh no!
Oh, they get the catch on Cameo anyways!
Oh, that has to hurt SMG. Yes, the hero rifle and adds 5 ultimates to work with, but without Cameo on board now, the C side looking a lot more vulnerable for Sapphire to take. Muffin, as per usual, her moves towards Bend into Hall has been pretty much the bread and butter of the FULLSENSE Sapphire C take. The smoke though, into the space soon. Finds an Neri first and foremost. And here we go again. Paranoia does get connection to High. He gets a vision back to get that kill. Volley on the board. Unlikely at least one more. And SMG still fighting all back. If anyone can do it, it might be Kohabi. She has the rifle still in hand. The snake bite though, perfect for Melissa for the stall. Turret putting it down. Get a bit of intel along the way. Waterfall position for 1. The swing comes on in. The teamwork and the discipline. FULLSENSE Sapphire has it in the bag.
Great double swing here coming in from them. FULLSENSE Sapphire just continuing their tirade. Obviously, against the eco, and valiant efforts still put up considering the numbers disadvantage and as well the firepower. But still, the shutdown shot there in Cameo was simply trying to jump spot it to try and, you know, fake out with the Omen TP, with the shadow step check.
Yeah.
So sharp FULLSENSE have been showing to be.
Yeah. Those are those small missteps that we see from time to time from Team SMG. Besides Cameo getting caught out early, also Neri over-peaking before everyone else was ready towards Halls. Just moments like that, they will be punished by FULLSENSE Sapphire, and SMG know it. They go for a bit of aggression though with the rifles now. Rubble taken, and FULLSENSE just back away for the time being.
Look at how much of the map they've kind of secured here, though. Rubble is there, yes, but also the Viper's been on the C main is going to really dissuade that, so B might be their best option. They trade out equally here. I think losing the Viper is a bit more important, though.
As soon as they see the numbers, they're going to go for that B side, clearing now the utility along the way. Muffin checking out the link just in case. Let's step towards upper and needs to deal with the turret now. Pain Shell still lob just to go for the stall. Paranoia is there though for the answer. And now FULLSENSE, they're ready for this contact. Paranoia, perfect. And perhaps with Muffin knew exactly where to pre-fire versus Neri. 4v3 now. Big advantage here for FULLSENSE. Cameo might be the crucial one here. Gohaibi now makes the trade happen. And it's duo versus duo. Down to upper. Muffin and Baby TZ setting up a crossfire, and Baby TZ, there's the first, looking for a second, but Shirazi finds the timing, while Baby TZ busy with the utility. It's 1v1 now, and here comes Baby TZ, answers back with the timing of her own, and it's FULLSENSE on the roll.
That's great internal timing from Baby TZ. She's been one of the clutchest players, even coming from last year, and once more again, converts here. Lovely stuff we're seeing so far from FULLSENSE Sapphire. That's a bit of a team flash off the Paranoia, but ultimately doesn't matter because, well, Muffin's just that damn good.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's a doorway, you know where to shoot. And Muffin, again, it's just the expertise of FULLSENSE Sapphire on this map as a team and with the agents that they have. I always look at Baby TZ. She's been one of the stars all throughout her career. She changed her name halfway into last year for a bit, changed it back to her regular Killjoy, and we are enjoying the Baby TZ show as per usual.
Poison orb emitting.
She's been giving us a great game so far, that's for sure. eco once more here for SMG, but I mean, they've been doing good damage on this. Have yet to convert an actual thrifty round. Full sense of really giving SMG a run for their money. The only team that you can say that to be truthful.
Here we go again, but Muffin now found early on by Shirazi. Small chance SMG can work with. They have the Nightfall. They also have the Showstopper, if ever, and Shirazi just playing patiently over onto the corner of Fog. The smoke dissipates. It's trouble for Paulie. Check things out though, and Shirazi gets another one! Gohai's the one who falls instead. SMG, one small advantage, using the Sheriff's and the Decay to try and get the kills, but Ginny, she's finding the targets. Gets one. It's a 1v2 though. Over onto the low ground. Mark still by the fade. It's Alexi, it's Camu. They're searching for their counterpart on the other side, and Ginny 2 HP and a dream. Will it happen for her? 1v1 now, the battle of the fates, but Alexi, the sharp shot. Princess Alexi, she's pristine for that one. And SMG, they finally break the streak of Full Sense.
Alexi the Great making it happen once more.
Next time we'll use wooden sticks.
Full Sense, Sapphire. Obviously, Ginny was a bit too low there, so Alexi, you're able to tap away and confirm it in the end. Ultimately enough, a round they needed, a thrifty to convert. Shirazi, great timing as well there. Nobody really covered Muffin, and she was kind of preoccupied with spamming that waterfall instead. And SMG so far have been more about capitalizing opportunities aside from their opening pistol, and Full Sense have been creating them.
Yeah, it's been a lot more proactive really for Full Sense. Rarely do you see SMG the one on the back foot, not just in terms of the scoreline, but also on how these rounds are going. Sapphire making their own rules of engagement, and Muffin, he's happy to lead that charge yet again. Pain shows up as per usual. It's so clear-cut the strategy here of Full Sense Sapphire, and if SMG is just caught half a step too late, they're gonna take some damage. Muffin now watching over towards Link. There's the C's though. Put the pressure on Prowler as well, but covering far from Paulie, not gonna happen. SMG gets the two that they need. Muffin though on the board, yes. Inari with the pain shells, Inari with another one, and here comes SMG versus Baby TZ. It's 3v1, make a 2v1, but a back shot from Inari gets the bounce, gets the kill, and another round here for the defense.
You can see Baby TZ there thought for sure she had taken down Kahaibi, so she kind of flicks away instead. But hey, good effort here by SMG and Neri, especially kind of working throughout that B link, making sure the door was theirs. Great seed as well off of Alexi, combo with the nade. Still a good fight put up by Muffin ultimately enough, but it was only a matter of time before she went down anyways. And SMG have at least to some extent recovered here. 5 rounds in the defense, not bad at all, but quite frankly uncharacteristic to see SMG in this predicament.
To be down on a map, to be the ones trying to go for the comeback. No way, Black and Blue. It's not as if they haven't lost a series all throughout the year.
You don't say.
You don't say. But let's be real here. FULLSENSE Sapphire right now, the reason they're calling this timeout is one of the small problems I've noticed for this squad. They have so strong set plays, they have incredible executes, especially when you put it to a chalkboard. Any analyst will have a field day watching FULLSENSE Sapphire play compared to the rest of the Game Changers APAC scene. But halfway into a half, or in the mid-rounding basically by their opponents, once they get the sniff of exactly what's going on, what positions Muffin will be taking, that's when a team like SMG can adjust. We saw that towards that C side. We've seen that now versus that B side. And if it goes SMG's way yet again, we are going to see things tied up.
Yeah, like for that C site, for example, they've been ready to expect Muffin to end up on that platform anyways, right? On the default, though, you can see in that eco round that Team SMG won, Shirazi was anticipating that, so they catch on rather quickly. And FULLSENSE have to be sure they aren't telegraphing themselves too much. 4-player push towards this rubble, and Alexi and SMG just have every advantage there. No chance for Alyssa to do much.
Yeah, Alyssa had a small chance there, but the numbers for SMG and the pressure, too much to handle. The execute looking likely towards C, and Gohaibi knows that it is coming. Satchels are out, Nanoswarm's gonna be there as well, and FULLSENSE now wading their way to make it towards the platform itself. Plant going down, set up for round if ever. Lockdown's there too, and SMG, they need to make a choice and fast. Timer ticking, and area on the board to give the advantage yet again. Muffin with the answer, and SMG will have to cede space for now. It's at least something for FULLSENSE to work with. They're playing on site though with the lesser numbers, trying to go for a little bit of that corner play. The off angle though answered already by Inari, and she just does it all for the team. The star of APAC for good reason, and pretty much the ace of that retake. SMG tied things up.
Pretty much goes, well, here's a paint shell for you. You might as well throw it, and you should know how to take it. And Muffin, I get the reason why she kind of threw it out there. She maybe felt the push was to come, but had to be wary about, hey, the lockdown's going to dissipate anyways. I can throw it after that. But for the meantime, the only thing we're going to be throwing to is our panel. How you guys doing?
We are doing fantastic, enjoying the show that we are having right now. I mean, we did know that, these two teams were going to pack quite a punch indeed. But as, Dax and Black and Blue mentioned, it is quite rare to see Team SMG kind of like on the lower side of the score, which they were, for quite some time in that half, Colden. And, you might almost, question like, hey, are you ladies starting to struggle in this versus this new FULLSENSE?
So, I mean, if you look at the kind of executes that FULLSENSE Sapphire have been implementing, I think they have been very thorough with their utility, right? All of the, steps left, right, center, there'll be mollies in the correct positions where a lot of players tend to play in. You will see Muffin going in with beautiful double satchels in a very dedicated path, right? You see her always landing in a certain position, and that's because these kinds of executes are surrounded behind this entry player. And when you set Muffin up for success, she will get you those entries, especially when the utility is so on point as FULLSENSE Sapphire has demonstrated. But of course, SMG, right, they come in with that teamwork. Whenever SMG goes for those retakes, it always happens in the blink of an eye. 3 kills instantly done. So that's how SMG are still keeping themselves in the game, but of course incredibly close. It could be either team to take it.
It's a nail biter. It is a nail biter for sure, especially when you have, rounds, that are so close, just like these. And we're going to continue. We're going to get back into Lotus and pass it on over to our casters, Dax and Black and Blue.
It's neck and neck, man. This is what the upper bracket finals is all about. 6-6 the standing here. SMG with a small rally at the very end, all thanks to Inari especially. You can see now she has 12 kills. I think she's gotten what? Minimum 6 from the last 2, maybe even 7 along the way.
I think 7, yeah.
Yeah, just crazy to think that SMG found the answer. Now though, we go for FULLSENSE Sapphire on the defense. In my eyes, again on Baby TZ, especially onto Ginny, what they can do to help out the squad hold down the line.
I mean, it generally has been the case where this team is a bit more effective on the defense for the most part here, FULLSENSE Sapphire. But, well, we're going to have to see for ourselves if that holds on true. At least a map like Lotus, which is one of the more equally sided battlegrounds.
Yep.
Full 5-man push from SMG.
Exactly. They picked this for good reason. They know to play the attack or defense, and FULLSENSE knows that they have a chance versus SMG here. Prowler's flash, the boombot's there too. Utility war already towards Rumble, and now as the dust settles, it's SMG who wins the skirmish. A site wide open, and SMG are already in pursuit.
Nobody there really to kind of play a trap. I mean, they had the paint shells, yes, but throwing a bit too early would have been nice if they let them kind of come in a bit. Maybe had a seize combo with, especially. But alas, bygones be bygones. 2v5, ultimately a 1v3. It didn't really last for long. SMG quickened, really just easy way to take the pistol. It didn't seem like they had much of a problem to simply strong-arm them there and win the fight.
And yet again, another round thanks to the amazing adventures of Inari. 3 picks this time around, just adding more to the kill tally. And she's truly woken up ever since that round where they went the retake towards B. It has just been the Inari show again and again.
Very Inari so far. 15 in her name. Of course, a star in her own right. One that really, I guess, safe to say, lots of people were looking forward to see at the biggest international stage last year, but now she's looking to finally bring it home, finally claim that right, what he is meant to do, and there exactly is how you do it.
There you go. She's got the 2, and 2 is all she'll get. Polly finds her with the classic, but the damage has been done. And Baby TZ, okay, that's a judge. Shirazi, run away. Shirazi, you don't gotta deal with that. Problem is here for SMG. Spike in the clutches of Baby TZ. But a bullet left to her name. A bullet enough to kill her. And Kohibi will secure it. So, got a little dicey there near the tail end, but SMG still with another one.
At least starting to give themselves a bit of cushion, no matter how small it may be. Trapped there off the seas, so a good combo as well. Try and help Polly out just a bit more. Coming in from Ginny, but now FULLSENSE, this is where I'm curious. What are they gonna pull out in the defense? Knowing it is a bonus on the opposing side. Judge still available here for Inari. So they have to be wary of her just flying on in and flying through. Seems like B site is the option, which FULLSENSE are actually seemingly so looking happy to give up.
The Rumble set up instead for FULLSENSE Sapphire. And then Inari picking up the orb, so she has the showstopper now to put on the impact if ever. I've noticed though, how many kills has Inari had with the pain shells all throughout this game? Like 4, 5 maybe? Something like that? Because it's been very consistent. But the launch pad's being set. SMG coordinating it. It's time to call NASA because someone is trying to fly high if ever. Paranoia is going to be the play. Polly though in position instead. Keeping the opposition at bay. And eventually SMG will have to relent. They go for the showstopper play. And Ari though close contact with Muffin. And is able to blow her up from that point on. 2 for 2. Advantage swung in favor of SMG after the kill there from Kohibi. And A side yet again opened up here by SMG.
Well, SMG are so smart. Not because they did anything world-breaking, but just because even in a match like this, they have the heads about them to do what's right, to do the right thing. They know the paint shell hasn't been utilized just yet. They know that Muffin was holding on to that, so they initiate contact specifically to pull that utility out, to force the paint shell out, and then they go.
And here we go again with Alyssa. Sharp shots from FULLSENSE! And it's a full clear towards 3. They get the round back. It got dicey, man, but FULLSENSE Sapphire, that's one thing they can do if plans go awry. They can just kill the opposition where they stand.
I was talking about the brains in SMG, but it's ultimately the bronze here from FULLSENSE that takes the round anyways. And you can't even say they had the better weapons because they picked up rifles by that time, so Alyssa just so sharp, Baby TZ as well. Playing off of that contact, obviously there in the end, Kohibi expecting Alyssa to be a bit deeper, didn't expect Baby TZ to be that close. So everything works out in the end for FULLSENSE. It was a gun round though, but look at how expensive it did really cost them. So not the most favorable buy coming into this.
Yeah, it's big damage done by SMG to say the least.
Alyssa can drop though.
Well, FULLSENSE, they have a bit something to work with. They're a little bit far off from the ultimates though. So that they're going to call for a timeout right now and try to understand how can they stop Inari. One big problem that they've faced so far, Inari's paint shells have always caught out FULLSENSE in more committed positions. It allows her also to get a second kill along the way, make that kind of space. FULLSENSE Sapphire, they need to find an answer for her and fast.
I think it's the team as a whole as well. Obviously, Inari is the face of it, the tip of the spear, but spear is nothing without the arm that wields it. And SMG, they know how to use her in her most effective ways to really secure these rounds and gain the advantage they need. But FULLSENSE, praise be said their way. They've done a good job of mitigating the rest of the team. It's just, as he said, yeah, the tip of the spear that's been a bit too sharp for them so far.
Yeah, they haven't found a way to build a bulwark, basically, and SMG instead. Camu spotted there, wide initial haunts. FULLSENSE Sapphire knows now an A hit is looking likely, and Mary ready to lead that charge yet again. Boombot now gets confirmation. There's a hold from backside. Ginny now flushed away by the paint shells, and Ari though can't go for the push. Instead, it's the rest of SMG and Alexi! Alexi! Oh my! She's been the role of assistant so far throughout this game. Now she's taken matters into her own hands. Strong arming competition. Found the 3 she needed, and Ari opens up the upper position as well. And now from top to bottom, it's all SMG. Alyssa, the only one still standing here by the staircase. But she has to be careful. She doesn't look the right way. She'll just be tripped up by SMG, and Neri already hounding her. The peek with the knife out. Go Hy-Vee there with the clear, and SMG. Discipline is an understatement. They've been looking so clean this offense.
SMG looking pretty good there, to say the very least. In full sense, just getting overrun. Like, a good initial, I guess, reaction to what SMG were doing there. When Tree was given on away, they had the molly set up in their face, yes, but even more importantly, the paint shell to further keep him on back. But once that initial kind of hurdle expired, the paint shells and nano swarms, SMG just ran them over on the site. They line on up, Paranoia connects for a backside, pressure for Ginny, trying to commit. It's more SMG just taking things early.
Your fear!
SMG now, they're feeling the momentum. Nightfall comes, and Neri pushing also. From this point on, they confirm Waterfall is next to Prowler, and Neri spamming things down. Alexi now very confident after that last round. She happy to fight off against many versus Full Sense. He's also keeping it at bay. There's a snake bite too, and Full Sense, they're just lined up here, my friend. SMG now bringing the executions one by one. Polly though, that's sharpshooting. 2 down to her hand. 1v3, snake bite yet again, picking up the judge. And she realizes, oh wait, this ain't a rifle. Full Sense, this is so hard for them to actually make their way. Juggling the guns, picks up the Phantom. But by this point, SMG should have this one.
Might opt to save it instead, if anything. But SMG, yeah, just, I mean, these are the type of rounds you expect him to win anyways. I'm more curious to see coming into this next round what Full Sense are going to pull out, kind of in contrast to what SMG have. Obviously, it's a mirror matchup, so you're not going to see anything too differing in terms of ideas that are possible, but the ones that they actually pull on out, that can be different. Their Rebel take so far hasn't been one that has necessarily been seemingly as a priority the same way SMG would on their defense a while ago, where SMG would want to squeeze that part of the map early away. Full Sense are going to try that here this time, but will the other side of the map, the weak side, be ready for kind of the adjustment?
We'll see now as SMG. Mound looking to be likely their take. In Full Sense, I see what you mean. You see Full Sense, they're trying to funnel SMG towards that seaside. They're getting that rubble, but from time to time, it's SMG just overpowering this side take anyway, or this side of the map. Or on the other hand, just still making the sea clear happen. So Ineri now, he's over at Ben. A good snake bite there though. Courtesy of Alyssa. Keeper at bay. Moonbot instead gonna be the call, and Ineri braves the waters to try and cross on through to the other side. Paranoia is gonna be there for the Lexi again with the helping hand. Polito over at the corner. Camu does make the trade happen. And it's 4v2 now. SMG still, they have the power to go for the push, and they will use it to get the spike down.
SMG are just so confident. Like, Ineri has no problem bypassing most of the util just to get onto that back site. Knowing that though, I wonder if you can see Full Sense kind of position themselves a bit closer towards that back water pillar instead of just playing on the backside itself. Clear out that back. Muffin gets the one, getting to fall, but no, pulls out the showstopper at the miss opportune moment. 11-7 now for SMG.
Yeah, we've seen how convenient it has been for SMG when they're sticking around on the post plan. They have a corner where one's a little bit more open and a second one to surprise the opposition. Case in point, what happens there versus Muffin. Doesn't realize Cammy is there until it's a little too late while the showstopper's being primed. Those small moments, that little bit of hesitance we see from Sapphire is what is giving SMG the advantage.
Exactly. Hesitation is defeat. Small misstep could be the final one. Muffin and the rest of Full Sense now actually putting importance once again into taking that rubble away. SMG are just going to wait this out though. You see a lot of teams do this where they let that initial utility set itself on rubble and then just wait out. Because by that time they have the advantage with the shuffle, can expect somebody to be close. And they know the paint shells have been burnt now, so there isn't as much to worry about here towards rubble anyways.
It's going to be very much so close contact. Sheriff's the only thing Sapphire has in their hands. Muffin, Ollie. They make it work. At least 2 for their troubles before they're traded. 3v3 for now. This FULLSENSE Sapphire dare even use ultimates now to stall for time. They do. Confirmation there for Ginny, moving into door, and SMG kept that bait for the time being.
It'll only be a momentary stall, though. Won't really be anything to swing off of. Nothing to really capitalize from. And all it makes happen is SMG to fall back.
30
Actually,
seconds
no,
left.
They're gonna commit to this. They realize they don't have much time, but I mean, against the eco here, they're gonna have to hell out of their shots to make this work.
They double down to go for the triple push, and through the doorway it's Ginny who awaits them. Alexi though, again with her A game. Prowler now searching for a target. Do they realize Alyssa's there over onto the corner? And now Baby Teasy, big pick to stall for time. She needs to go for the plant and fast. Alexi though on guard duty, deals with 2, and there's no time here for SMG. Baby Teasy, it's just too easy for her. A thrifty take for FULLSENSE.
Oh my goodness. Baby Teasy just able to dodge and weave, find that timing. The initial drop there in the planet attempt on I believe it was Omen of all things that they dropped in that case for the plant. Yeah, Cameo.
10 seconds left.
That's really just made things such a scramble here for SMG, and then obviously at the end there, dropping as well Shirazi, who tried to get the spike as well down. FULLSENSE Sapphire, another thrifty that they're able to convert. This is what we're talking about, Dexter. Their ecos are always so formidable.
Absolutely. Best of the best right now we have here for Game Changers APAC and FULLSENSE Sapphire. They have been battered by SMG streak, yes, but they are ready to fight back here with the guns in hand. Ginny watching out towards B. SMG, all the confidence now, a little bit more on the, I'd say, cozy side here, my friend. Slower play here from SMG. They're waiting for an opportunity towards Mountain Sea, if ever.
FULLSENSE Sapphire.
Face
Single
your
round
fear!
here. Would be great to further build up momentum. Showstopper up once more, and Neri melted down! And they catch her! You can see the perfect utility placement in anticipation of what the Neri's been doing. Shutting her down, not able to bypass it this time. It's making it such a treacherous entry in the first place.
And she spreads her wings, but she's caged instead by the utility. At this point on, SMG scramble now to make their way towards A. It's looking pretty clear though, scared up perhaps by the clouds. No,
30
never
seconds
mind.
left.
SMG will push their way to go for the side take. 4v4 will be the answer.
FULLSENSE still have a lot of work to do to secure this round. Plant should go undissuaded here by SMG. So the retake is going to come on in. No ultimates for them to utilize. Maybe if Alyssa can get a pick off, they're going to have the Viper's Pit for that defuse, but that's about most that they can really hope for here. It's a good smoke to try and cluster out the rubble. And obviously, that's where most of the defensive post plant, rather offensive post plant, is held up.
And Polly finding a small angle to work with from this point on. FULLSENSE now making their way towards the side. Camille though the first contact versus Muffin. And SMG again with the picks. And SMG just individual angles to find all of that collated efforts. They now move towards match points.
Yeah, great job by SMG to stall enough time there in the post plant to make sure that by that time the retake actually started to commence here from FULLSENSE Sapphire. The util was gone. The smoke was gone. That separated Paulie from the rest of the push, and that's when the fight happens. Simply allows them to have the sight lines they set up in the first place, because otherwise, if that started happening with that smoke still down and there was no like snake bites, they could have definitely overrun the tree position and then isolated the post planters from the defuse.
SMG, they found the picks instead, and now they put themselves in a winning situation versus their opponent's map pick. FULLSENSE, what else can they do here, man? 2 rifles, a Spectre, some shares to work with. It'll take a miracle for them to bounce back from this one, but we've seen Muffin and Baby Teasy deliver before.
Moments here separate FULLSENSE from another try or another round. The chosen guns to take down the chosen ones. FULLSENSE Sapphire in another low economic state. See Sight to be the take once more. Kohibi gets on Muffin on the trade, but Kohibi's a double for her. Really swift entry here. Gets into the smoke in the third for Kohibi. Jinny taken down. FULLSENSE, not much of a fight or a response in the round.
She leaped into the fray and still came out of the smoke standing, man. It's 4v2 now, and SMG, this has been a statement. FULLSENSE, they had their streak, they had their run. But right now, it's all SMG, and unless Paulie can do anything, it will be a victory here for Team SMG. 13-8. What a statement made, especially the second half.
They had their fun. They went on the little run. But FULLSENSE at the end are the ones to go down. SMG opening map here on Lotus especially. This was the pick of FULLSENSE Sapphire, yet still unable to convert. SMG, as we've seen and as we've come accustomed to, taking the opener.
Yeah, and you can see already elation, even though it's just map number 1. If you guys have been checking out the interviews with Team SMG, you understand why. Anxiety is their biggest problem, not the opposition. Their words, not mine. And if they can just get away from those nerves, handle streaks done, especially by FULLSENSE Sapphire, then they're gonna have a good series in their hands. Throw it over to the panel to break down an incredible map 1. Mika, cool down. The floor's all yours.
Thank you very much, Dax and Black and Blue. And I think that Team SMG, you know what? They probably sweat just a little bit. But as Dax mentioned, you know, they do get a little bit nervous sometimes, especially when it's a big match like this. But I would say there's no better way than dealing with those nerves than just, you know, taking the first map from FULLSENSE Sapphire and saying, okay, it's probably, I would just want to say probably just because of their first series, but it's probably going to be smooth sailing from here on end.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how, I guess you could say, a little bit shaky on the first half, right? We saw it go down to a 6-6 half, but then once the side switch, once SMG were in the driver's seat, right? They were the ones able to dictate the pace of the game as they were on the attacking side, right? They could decide if they wanted to go fast or go slow. And as the rounds went on, yeah, FULLSENSE Sapphire, an incredibly good defensive team. You can see Baby TZ as that killjoy, their MVP. But on the flip side, SMG, an incredibly offensive team as well, with Aneri topping that scoreboard. I mean, those executes were so scary. Every single angle was being covered for by either utility or a flying raise. And it's just incredibly synergistic when you see SMG execute into a site. And Aneri, right, even if they don't really get those entries, they got a whole gang of just insane killers just there to back her up as well. And look at the distribution of first kills as well. I mean, the entries that Aneri were getting were just really, really out of this world. And I mean, credits to her team as well. But that was just another, you know, masterclass coming from SMG on that attacking side.
Yet again, right? Yet again. What else is new at this point? But, you know, I'm such a big fan of the Aneri and Alexi tandem, right? It's like a 1-2 punch coming in from SMG. You have Alexi, who is already, you know, very frightening to deal with, even without the duelist. But like, you know, when you have the follow-up, right, of these two, it's just such a great tandem to be able to, you know, get SMG all of these entries when they're on attack and even defend aggressively. So, you know, it's so much of like it's so easy for them to corner all of their enemies, right? And FULLSENSE, they did fight back quite a bit. I mean, we saw those amazing plays from Muffin. She was able to hold her own against Aneri, I do believe, and Baby TZ as well, who was just so perfect. Very, very pristine. Like all of her, she was so decisive in like all of her in all of her plays. And I think that, like, you know, of course she's one of the prime, you know, players that we do have to look out for FULLSENSE Sapphire. But Team SMG, they just seem to have everything covered here. We are going into a split though, so Colden, expect more flying raises. I think we're gonna have even a more utility thrown in everybody's faces here as we come back into map number 2 and see whether Team SMG continue their victory run here on Game Changers APAC Elite. We'll be back right after this quick break.
Got the money in the bank.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
back to Game Changers APAC Elite. We are on to map number 2 between Team SMG and FULLSENSE Sapphire. And as we expected, Team SMG took the first map, Lotus, but they did seem to struggle in quite a few rounds. So Colden, what are we expecting as we come into Split here? When these two teams met on Split previously, it seemed very dominant for Team SMG.
Yeah, precisely that, right? The last time they played was all the way back in Open 3 when Margot was still on FULLSENSE Sapphire. So I think coming into Split, I would really hope that SMG have got something, or rather, I hope that FULLSENSE Sapphire has something for Team SMG, because if we go by the last time they played this map, it was really dominant in SMG's favor. And maybe this change up, right, with now Alyssa on the team, maybe they have a different composition that they would like to take on this map of Split, right? We know that Baby TZ loves to play that Sentinel role, but we have seen her switch over and flex a little bit onto that Sky. So maybe a change up in the compositions. I'm not too certain, but I am definitely confident that FULLSENSE Sapphire have got this map prepared for. So I'm hoping for a close game, because Split can sometimes be pretty one-sided if you're not too careful.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you're not too careful against Team SMG, it's pretty much their game, right? But yeah, I mean, Baby TZ flexing onto the initiator role. I actually, I'm a big fan, and she does wonders on the initiator role as well. It's just that I do love her on the Sentinel role, just for old time's sake, so to say. But it could be a wrench into Team SMG's plans if they haven't, if they don't know what Baby TZ is up to, especially since you're going up against Alexi, and having that initiator duel in order to set up Muffin on one side and a Neri on the other. It's a treat to watch. And it's basically where these clashes begin, right? So right now, as we head into Agent Select, I don't think we're going to expect anything too wild from either of these teams. They're going to want to play into their comforts and rely on their mechanics. But here on Split, as we mentioned, the previous time these two teams met up, it was a 13-4 in favor of Team SMG. That is quite a gap indeed.
Yeah, and Margot was playing that Sage the last time. This time we see a little bit of a switch up. So now we have that double controller coming in for FULLSENSE Sapphire. And actually for SMG as well, right? The last time that they played, both teams opted for a single controller, but now both switching over to the double controller
duelist.
And double duelist. Yeah, exactly that. Alyssa going on that jet. I don't think we've seen her. Have we seen her on the duelist? I don't think
so. This time I'm looking at this, I'm like, wait a second. Hold on. Alyssa's usually been on the Sentinel role, but now there's going to be no Sentinel at all. There's going to be, you're going to have Ginny on the Initiator role. Baby TZ is on Controller with Polly, and they're going to have the double duelist. It's kind of worrying because you look at Team SMG's composition, and everything here just has stopping power for the duelist, right?
Yeah. I mean, almost every single agent, maybe except the Sky, can put a halt to an execute, but I can understand FULLSENSE Sapphire's decision. They want more firepower assistance with Muffin on those executes, so putting Alyssa on a jet might be the key to success. We won't know until we see it in the server, but boy am I excited for Alyssa on that jet.
Same here. We were asking for something to change, right? Well, this is a big change indeed, so let's get into it. Map number 2 Split, over to Dax and Black and Blue.
Look, it's a familiar battleground for both of these teams, but it's a new look for SMG as well as FULLSENSE. It's been a while since we've seen them play this map. The last time that they did Black and Blue was against each other. And truthfully, with all that time, we get something different. Double control on one side, double duelist on the other.
It's curious who they put in the duelist too. Alyssa taking up that spot when typically when on double duelist, right? On FULLSENSE Sapphire, you'd see maybe Baby TZ stepping up to that front, but Alyssa being put on here, it's not that we've never seen it on maybe other teams. She's played it in the past, but in this current configuration, in the most recent of times, curious decision to make here on Split, but one that I am certainly for.
Yeah, last time she played, I think she was still part of that Kizuna Chuki roster. But here we go, ladies and gents, because it's time now to see what SMG can do on their map pick. Do they win this and go for another clean 2-0, or will FULLSENSE Sapphire repeat history from before? Back in the grand finals of Open 2, they took SMG down on this map. Can they do it again? Let's find out.
I mean, obviously, you lose this one, you're still not out just yet. Just to make sure for you all, another lower bracket final appearance obviously awaits, but more importantly, you do not want to have to go through that gauntlet. You do not want to have to add another game to the lengthy process that is already making it in the champs. And so, to become a grand final champ, one must win here. And SMG, they're up a map.
Absolutely. Come on, whoever wins this grand finals, perhaps even Brazil awaiting them, but Neri already drawing first blood to begin with. Neri with the second one for FULLSENSE. Sapphire clear out Garage well at the very end. So 3v3 for the time being, and Sapphire resets themselves.
Yeah, good recovery here by Sapphire to kind of get some frags going back their way. They do lose their primary smoke, though, in Poly, which is going to be a bit of a hit. There's a Cammy on the other end as well. Losing Ginny for that flash and for that info is big, but for the most part, you're not going to need too much as the A site is right for the taking. SMG starting to catch on. They can rotate. I mean, they have utility on it anyway, so that's going to be their signal to rotate when it does catch, and there it is.
There you go. Big red alert thanks to the tripwire. They know now Alyssa and the rest of FULLSENSE are stationed. Hybe now and the crew to find a way to go for the retake screen. Still going to be the point of contact. First on the board, second even. Alyssa with 3, just cleaning up so nicely. Sapphire takes the pistol away.
And Alyssa, first time swapping on in here for FULLSENSE. Sapphire on Duelist, and what an opening round to get things going as well. Triple for her. Everything going her way. An initial bout, good idea. I mean, the typical classic kind of wrestle there for that Garage, right? You throw the nade, TP across, shut down anybody who's kind of gone too hasty to enter, there being Ginny, but recovery from FULLSENSE has been their key marker.
Of course, when they're able to re-rotate and reacquire a different site, that's where the discipline gets even better. So Cammy now holding close, smoke out the Garage just to provide for a bit of cover. I guess the problem right now for SMG is they're probably taken aback by this composition. You've seen from FULLSENSE Sapphire, they swap around between Baby TZ as well as Alyssa on who plays the Sky, so Ginny can play more of a utility initiator along the way. This time around, you get no Sentinels whatsoever for FULLSENSE. It's SMG who's stuck with it with the Cypher, and perhaps it's a big surprise that awaits SMG moving forward into these rounds.
Alright, Alyssa. When she gets tagged up, camera up above. I don't wager they're gonna be too hesitant to commit anyways. Here comes the spring. Oh, a bit of a team flash was supposed to go around the corner. They do have a crossfire set up on towards it. Perfect flash, but still Kawhibe's able to capitalize. And SMG, the rest of them, they all fall down to the hands of SMG. How do they do it? FULLSENSE simply dismantled.
Recovering it.
They did it with classics, they did it with Crossfire, and in the end, it's FULLSENSE Sapphire stumbling at the starting line. SMG now picking up the guns along the way. They have the firepower, and time is on their side. And Neri clashing ready here towards tower. You got Pauly also watching out for the smoke to dissipate if ever. FULLSENSE Sapphire, they need picks and fast. Baby TZ will provide Pauly there too, but the trades come on in from SMG in the blink of an eye. A third win to take the second round.
I thought everybody's blind there, but for the most part seemed to be in only FULLSENSE's case. So much flashes popping on off, but I guess on the defense here, SMG a bit more ready for it there. Alexi especially with a classic at hand. Kawhibe as well chiming on in. SMG.
Yeah.
I thought recovery was about FULLSENSE, but no, SMG, they've got some of their own.
All I gotta say is SMG, their comfort side on split is defense. They have never started this map on the attacking side all throughout the year, and this is another one of those instances. You can see why they love to be the ones defending first and foremost, ready with the angles to catch out any bit of surprise. Sapphire now the one is hurting on the economy.
But how about closing in the second half? That's a different question. They did kind of falter the last time. Rather, the first time they faced up against FULLSENSE Sapphire during the previous Open, but after that, able to rectify their mistakes, beating FULLSENSE, you know, pretty handily. So it's been a back and forth so far. It's up to FULLSENSE to try and even up the score as of the most recent moment.
Pretty much. It's, I think, 2-1 if you factor in before FULLSENSE Sapphire became FULLSENSE Sapphire. before they were acquired by FULLSENSE as a team. In any case, though, Sapphire now, they're trying to find a way to cross towards A, where Kohibi's waiting over at screens. The setup, yet again, the trip bar, the camera, should keep tabs both sides of this offense. Cage is triggered, Kohibi just lets the burst fire go. An easy scope in, and the pre-fire behind volley. You get already, Cage yet again, trying to juke out the opposition if ever she's crossing there. Alyssa needs to watch out for that. And Eri, though, clearing out tower. Paranoia is perfect as well. And SMG, this is pretty much textbook from them. Ginny fights back at the very least, but SMG gets their second round now.
Such a menace there. Let's see a judge to save on up as well. Oh, okay, I'll take that back. Give me the sheriff. But SMG, you can see there that they really do have an understanding of not letting their advantages kind of just be erased. Kohibi, she had a chance there to maybe push towards elbow. She had her cage up, but knew it's a 5v4. I can wait for my team. What's the most secured thing I can do instead of trying to farm a kill basically against a Nico? SMG know that there's bigger things at hand and bigger stakes to play for.
Absolutely. And then Eri now will get the biggest boom of them all with the showstopper prepared. This is technically now SMG's bonus because rounds did get wonky from the second. Rifles out for FULLSENSE. Trying to put a bit of pressure towards mid and even towards A thanks to that toxic screen. But beyond that, cutting noise so far. Sapphire just trying to goad SMG to peak to begin with.
Up towards that mid. Actually has a good idea on where Neri was, who's lucky to get away with her life. A sliver of death, TP across just to check. Luckily Cammy's in enough space to fall back into safety. Nice.
Can you feel the heat? Because SMG's playing with fire, man. Two different outlooks on the map. Almost punished twice by FULLSENSE. But in the end, you get to rotate towards A, and it will be Kohibi as well as Shirazi looking to find that initial contact point. Stars, though, being set up by Pauly. Camera should check out screens if ever. Alyssa, though, dashing in, providing that space. Muffin, same case, over now, closer over the screens. FULLSENSE will take the site away.
Plant is theirs, of course. Retake to come on in. SMG coming from that ramp. Shirazi as well with a bulldog shuts him down. The rest of SMG are just continuing on that path. FULLSENSE not even putting up much of a fight. Practically almost a flawless here if they get this one as well. Kohibi shutting Ginny down, and FULLSENSE Sapphire looking pretty lost.
SMG, if you blink, you miss the retake. How quick was that? As soon as they hear confirmation of the spike, they let the showstopper go. They go for the clear towards screens, and the rest was their history to write. It's just so clean right now from SMG. And ever since we saw that hold towards A in that second round, this has been their playground.
SMG once more. Just fiery starts. Continuing further the trend that we've come accustomed to here, SMG. Now, FULLSENSE Sapphire, we saw last time around on Lotus that it did take him a bit to warm up, but when they did, oh boy, how they came. I'm waiting for that moment here for Sapphire when they finally kind of really hit their stride.
Yeah, you're just looking for that rally point here for FULLSENSE Sapphire, that one round that brings them back to the game. But SMG, what they're trying to do, especially from what we saw in that second half of Lotus, is to make sure those moments are null and void. Trailblazer, though, scouting out towards tower. Shirazi backing on away, expecting numbers instead to come her way. And the flash does fly. There's the smoke also towards garage. So instead now, it'll be SMG priming themselves for this high ground take for FULLSENSE. Cameo, though, on the board already. Shots ring. Cameo holding her ground to get a second. Steadfast right now for SMG and their defense. They picked apart FULLSENSE, will back away for the time being.
Yeah, it's a big setup there towards that B main as well. It's gonna be difficult to wrestle it away. Obviously the cross here from FULLSENSE to try and find something else going, but it's not gonna be the easiest to take, even if it's for the most part empty. Alexi gonna be that sole defender.
30 seconds left.
Big tag off the cam that sees directly into the vent, and they know the A hit's coming.
Yeah, if you notice, Kohibi has been very cheeky with their cameras, many times
Spike
moving them
planted.
in different positions just to keep FULLSENSE guessing. And because of it, finding easy utility, free intel, and leading out the free picks. Tripwire triggering towards main, allows
enemy
herself to
remaining.
assess that Polly's all alone. Shirazi also winning her duel. It's now Kohabi versus Ginny. And well, SMG, it's a flawless manner this time around. As clean as can be here for Team SMG.
Yeah,
Flawless.
continuing on. I mean, no real fault in their play right now. There's very little, I think, to necessarily change up too much. They've been giving very different looks to Sapphire for most of these rounds that Sapphire haven't been able to really read nor adjust what exactly the current setup would possibly be in any given round. And see, I think this is a good timeout to call it this early.
Yeah, they haven't found the answer whatsoever. And sure, they have the double duelist to go into the site, but what the problem has been, truthfully, the retakes. SMG has been so clear-cut to have these power positions across that A site, getting Ram's control, taking that screen's control away from FULLSENSE, and then you can see the problem with FULLSENSE. They lack the staying power compared to SMG in those quick outbursts.
SMG obviously have the benefit of having that map advantage. In FULLSENSE, so you could argue that, well, they're the ones who beat SMG. Rather, SMG are the ones who beat them last time around, which means FULLSENSE Sapphire should have more to know to adjust. They're the ones with a bit more information on what didn't work out last time around when they played them on split, right? Right? Right?
Yep.
But that's a different idea entirely, considering what they brought to the table and who was playing what. They don't have a Sage now this time around. So that information maybe gathered last time around isn't going to be as accurate this time, and you can see FULLSENSE still struggling on how to deal with this defense.
Yeah, and they don't have that Sentinel whatsoever. They don't have the Killjoy if ever they do want to run it. So FULLSENSE, they need to find value early on into these rounds. SMG is staying away, instead catching them in the app on the cross. And case in point, Alexi providing a lesson. FULLSENSE Sapphire though has had enough, answers back with a pick of their own. As Ginny, small opening here for Sapphire to work with. SMG still putting pressure and presence towards his A side.
They need a bit more utility in those type of attempts. Like, you know, if a Sage, then maybe slower bond towards Heaven, or a Killjoy, Nano Swarm, or in this case, what they've got, they have the stun, they have a Gravity Well, they have, you know, obviously Pain Shells, but you don't really want to commit towards Heaven. A Snake Bite would be good for sure. Just give something else to at least allow the duelists to get going themselves.
Yeah, they ran so many different agents already on this map. And what we've seen for FULLSENSE Sapphire all throughout their career is they're such a strong plan-based, utility-based team. Now they're trying to take a page
30 seconds left.
of perhaps even the SMG playbook to go for the aggression and allow their stars in Muffin and Alyssa to shine. It's just not happening right now when they can have a bit more space to work with on the offense. Let's see though. Time though running out. FULLSENSE will commit towards his B side. Camu can throw such big wrench at those plants. Beautiful cosmic
10
divide
seconds
to
left.
keep the opposition at bay. And in the silence, the plant goes down.
Plant down, as you said, 4v4, Judge and hand in air, kind of trapped here in the corner. Camu good for the one. Shirazi as well following up, but Ginny, she's got a great position here trying to shut them on down, but she's the one to be taken on down with a kill. Pauly, 1v2 for her, 1v1 that she connects on Shirazi. What a shot for her to find. Going for the spam, and Pauly never stopping, never falters. And Pauly multiple kills for her way.
That was just precious from Pauly. Absolutely essential. She set up that cosmic divide. She was waiting over at Garage just to find the angle versus the spike. And just such a good plant here for FULLSENSE in general. They were expecting, of course, SMG to come their way. And it was the usual SMG fanfare. Strong clear onto the site. Go for contact later on. But as soon as Pauly found a bit of momentum to work with, everything just lined up for her.
Well, what a clutch it came to. Obviously, Heroic's not going to be the most reliable source of rounds and points, but hey, you'll take them when you can. 4-2. FULLSENSE are looking to try and surmount a comeback, but immediately shuts down Pauly, who got herself going in the previous round. That's her primary smoke off on the attack early.
Yeah, and Baby TZ, you know how committed that Toxic Serene is towards A. Very difficult now to pivot their way elsewhere without Polly in the cards. SMG, they found the pick that they were looking for into the last round. You got Cameo though, getting prepped now. Just some peeks and try to find that intel. Eventually, the full sense. Do they push this? Waiting now for the timing. The spam goes, and here comes the showstopper as well. Cameo stuck in the corner, and there's no way to get the hell away from that showstopper. SMG onto the high ground, but Ginny will silence Inari here. It's 2 already down for the defense. Viper Spit gonna be online as well, and SMG trying to find the angle. Go for the Seekers. Shirazi on the board, sure. It's 3v2 as SMG as of yet needs to get towards the side. Full sense. They have such a good blockade of vision. A great battleground to work with. And as Alexi now tries to find her way in, the flash comes out from Ginny to provide some stellar intel. This is a big notice here for Full Sense Sapphire. They know where their opposition is coming from. And as SMG look for the clearance, the sea of green, it will be Alexi painting that picture. Jirazi on the board as well, but the snake bite for the stall is not enough for Full Sense Sapphire. SMG, they've done it again.
I mean, I get the snake bite to try and force him off the spike, but ultimately enough just gave away where Baby TZ was. They're able to filter them down, focus on the task at hand, and Alexi just dismantles them, being that forefront push. Said Sapphire was looking good until it wasn't.
I've got your trail.
So here for SMG, man. No matter what, they get the chance, they will go for it. And Alexi has been that big contingency plan for SMG all throughout. When Neri falls, Alexi is there to answer. She provides so much utility for this team, but also a cushion in those clutch situations.
Get out of my way. Bomb buddy out.
A single solo Vandal here on Polly. Blades for Alyssa. Not the best, but hey, Full Sense Sapphire. At this point, we expect, even in this case, you can deliver. Once more, that heaven position is going to be a problem. As once more, there's no util to deal with it. Alexi going to capitalize on that. Frags are just simply falling as
Spike
SMG.
One
Sense
enemy
is so
remaining.
frazzled here. Why be prepared with all the setups in the world? And from this point on, it's another flawless that SMG can write on the scoreboard with 6-2 right now.
Full Sense Sapphire, I mean, struggling so far, to say the very least, to really get themselves going. I want to see something committed towards this. At this point, they have to kind of catch on that, hey, A-site execute. If you don't have ramps control, heaven's going to be a problem. I'd like to see them potentially as well take that ramps quick, maybe have a smoke on the mid tower instead to try and cut off that backside of the tower, isolate those up front, and then have a bit more to kind of work with. You put down the wall when that comes up. Those type of shuffles with the double controller, it has to be that, I guess, cohesive to make it work.
And especially against a Cypher, right? You're not getting any value clearing out the tripwires with your duelist. You're just getting caught out instead by SMG again and again. And the struggle has been clear for Full Sense. They now have to deal with the Viper Spit online towards mid. And SMG effectively trying to funnel the opposition towards B, where Camu's awaiting them. The dark cover though. It's gonna be fading soon. Inari in position. We see the Cloudburst are coming ready. The flash gonna be into play as well. And Muffin gets one. Inari with a fight back. It's 4v4. Snake fight into play, but Inari braving sure the vulnerable state. 3v3 for the time being. Shirazi still staying strong. SMG now with an advantage. Tempo that hasn't planted as of yet, and the timing perfect, and the clear even better. SMG putting the pressure points again and again versus Full Sense.
Sapphire starting to slip here. And find a way to polish the gem to receive the rock. An area double for her, even with that pressure. She's so capable of taking them down with her as well. And Full Sense withered here with every passing round continuing in SMG's favor. Still not much of a fight put up on the attacking side. And another eco.
Blinded.
We haven't seen much of Full Sense. They won the pistol. They had the clutch from Paulie, but Paulie's gone already in this round. And everything else has just gone SMG's favor. This has been the dominance we've seen all throughout the year from SMG versus the field. And right now, they're providing another example of
Here.
why they should be the ones to be representing APAC into, of course, the world stage of Game Changers. Let's see, though, if FULLSENSE can find any more answers. They have sheriffs to work with. Gohaibi's there prepared over at screens. Pressing fire to keep her at bay. The Cyber Cage going to be into play too. And as FULLSENSE now pushes with Alyssa. The snake bites there into position. Gohaibi ready for the shot. She's spraying them down. Alexi with a helping hand. And the gun disparity is just way too clear. The flash doesn't find the intel this time around. There's the answer. But Ginny so low, the Trailblazer doesn't provide the damage, sure. But Baby TZ, big pick. A chance perhaps, reloads now, but running out of bullets, running out of time. And there's just nowhere to run. SMG just hounds the opposition and gets another round.
Valid effort for sure, but I mean, nice try isn't going to be enough at this point. Sapphire, you get the 4 rounds. That's okay, I guess, here in Split, especially looking at how Defender favored the statistics might skew. And so, I don't know, if you're Sapphire, this is a time to rally back. I'd wager if they don't get this done soon, at least here in the first half, then the second might be just a bit too far to outreach to even hope for.
Yeah, and if SMG build that huge lead, I haven't really seen them throughout the year drop the ball and lose out from that point on. It's such a big case made here for SMG, stack upon stack. And speaking of, it's a tower now here at A, being watched out by 3 members. At the very least, Alexi Gohaibi keeping the opposition guessing. The Cyber Cage in the way as well. And FULLSENSE, they're hesitant right now to even cross this way.
We're gonna see if SMG
Blinded.
let their hand play out, really. Anyway, confirms even more. They have a cam that should see over this, but somehow Shirazi here on the work. Finds one on Ramen, flashes on out, and FULLSENSE finally getting something going, but SMG respond.
They finally pushed it, and they go for big picks. 2v2, though, as Camu looking to watch out for mid if ever. Ginny's the one with a spike on hand. And FULLSENSE Sapphire, this is a big chance for them, but Camu spots out the legs, and it's an ankle breaker courtesy of her. Baby TZ, though, big surprise that she's found her target. It's now 1v1. Clutch versus clutch, and there he's prepared, though, and here we go again for another win for SMG.
The wall going up might not have just been the most favorable for Baby TZ there, but it's not like she knew exactly where Neri was at the end. Valiant effort by FULLSENSE Sapphire, so close, but yet just not enough. What can they pull out in the third? Sometimes you see teams that struggle in that first half win the final round of that first, and then bring that momentum into the second half and somehow mount a comeback. They may be superstitious. Jinx might work in their favor.
We'll see if you believe into it, Black and Blue. You just gotta keep hurting, though. If you're FULLSENSE and shish kebab by Shirazi's operator, caught out by Gohaibi. It's a checklist right now made by SMG. And now the showstopper even providing more damage. A roundabout way. It's brutal, as you mentioned, and it's flawlessly done by SMG as well. 10-2 utter domination. Let's see what the panel has to say after that half.
I'm still in shock from that shot, to be honest. Kind of didn't register. Everything else that happened after that didn't register. I was just like, you could kind of see it happen in slow motion, but oh wow. SMG, hold on, it looks like it's going the way of, you know, their previous matchup here on Split. Well, at least FULLSENSE Sapphire still have a chance here on one side, but 10-2 is an incredibly dominating scoreline. It's tough to come back from this one.
That's one way to put it, tough. The only 2 rounds that they managed to get were the pistol, which then they got equaled after, and then the 1v3 clutch from Poly, which honestly, SMG was trolling at that point, right? They were just, you know, doing their own thing, autopilot mode, and once they realized that, oh, okay, Poly got a clutch, alright, let's never give them a single round. Let's never let them have more than, what, 2 kills? The close round they got was down to that 1 versus 1, and even then, right, Alyssa had to get 2 kills as the Jet, and they still couldn't convert it, right? Every single corner that he turned, was so perfectly executed by SMG. And you can tell there's no egos on the squad. Their retakes and start and end within like 5 seconds. This kind of synergy is unmatched, and that was FULLSENSE Sapphire's best chance, right? That was when they had double duelists on the attack side. Now on defense, it's got to be a whole nother world of hurt that's coming that way. I can only hope that they gather themselves and, you know, just go in with just teamwork.
Yeah, the best possible foot forward, because yeah, Team SMG right now, you never really feel like any one player from this team is like going in alone, because like you can sense the presence of the entire team with everybody, and it's why it works so well, right? The synergy of this team is just immaculate at this point. And we're gonna see they have a few more rounds to close this out. You could be seeing myself and Cooldown in just a few minutes, or FULLSENSE Sapphire could potentially make a comeback. We're gonna throw it on back to Dax and Black and Blue.
So Koldan had the right word for it. Hope. Right now, FULLSENSE Sapphire, they need to rely on that hope. They need to believe in themselves to try and find a way to come back into this. And it has to start here on the pistol, or else SMG, they're just gonna run away with this map and gonna run away with this series.
Can't believe the way that SMG have secured this opening half, though. To many teams, yes, but to FULLSENSE Sapphire, the better rivals, crazy stuff. Opening on up, fight towards B main, and that's only one.
She made such a big distraction, though. SMG, they're already on site, and the biggest bane of Alyssa's life all throughout this map has been so high. Tripwire still runs into it. Alexi on the board, Baby CC over the fight back 2v2 attacks here now. FULLSENSE Sapphire and Baby CC, she's doing it all. There we go with a snake fight, and Neri in hot pursuits, and now here we go again. 1v1, and Neri versus Alyssa. She's trying to get halfway on the defuse, lets it go along the way, and Neri, though, critical HP. The Ghost providing the damage, and Neri onto the corner, and here comes Alyssa now to clear things out. This is what FULLSENSE Sapphire needed. The hope has been answered by Baby TZ and Alyssa.
FULLSENSE Sapphire. A prayer sung out and responded to for the very moment. FULLSENSE Sapphire here are able to really lock things down on the pistol round. As much as it took every single bit of heroics to fall in their favor, they cannot slip up at this point moving forward. And SMG, I mean, they've got a big cushion, but also can't get too complacent about letting that be swept away. This is the favored side, like Sapphire, by far, by almost 20% here in split on the defense.
Yeah, just in general, any map, Sapphire, you usually would love to see them play on the defense instead. SMG, they have their work cut out for them. They have a shorty, a few shares to work with. You got Cammy yet again playing towards Garage to provide a bit of that distraction. SMG, they got that mid control here, Black and Blue. They also spike towards mid itself, so a pivot, if a pick happens, that seems to be the plan right now here for our offense.
Trying to fish for some kills to potentially go their way. Nothing just yet.
Toxin screen down.
SMG on this attack. I wonder if the change up in composition here for FULLSENSE
going up.
was really that big of a problem for them on the attacking side a while ago. When you have a double duelist, you're talking about having quick, swift, space-taking executes, but we never really saw that from FULLSENSE.
Yeah, FULLSENSE now, though.
30 seconds left.
Holding steady towards that A side as time running out for SMG. Neri, though, closing the distance, and Muffin! The blast back became a trip mine, and in the end, it's FULLSENSE Sapphire setting themselves up for success. That's one way to use the satchel. That's one way.
Yeah, he literally used it like it was a mine, a claymore or something. Just place it on the floor, activate it whenever somebody is close. If they're low enough, well, they're taken down too. Flawless here, by the way.
And I think she's probably surprised that actually got the kill. But in the end, it's another flawless win. Or rather, it's another win here for FULLSENSE. Flawless this time to build their economy moving forward. And we were talking about it. The panel was talking about it. There needs to be basically a miracle here for FULLSENSE Sapphire. And they're making a case for it right now.
A few rounds to give for sure, but not one they're gonna want to do too idly. A bonus still to play for full sense here, so they're not gonna be forcing up into this next round. Not that they have necessarily the economy to do so, as they all kind of went down during the opening pistol. But hey, I mean, if you're Sapphire right now, you take what you can. Mid not really being fought over by the defense just yet. It's they're trying to play this in a way where you kind of lure SMG to get closer, and that's a smart idea considering they've got these SMGs. But when this screen goes down,
Didn't even need to. The Cloud finds a head to pop. Alexi finding Baby TZ. And SMG pick now to give them a big chance to move on forward. Keep an eye out though for Shirazi. She's the one trying to play towards Garage. And Holly's the one keeping an eye out of it. The rest of the SMG though, still ready to go for that B splits. Looking likely now as smokes to come on out. The Cloud is into play. The Trailblazer sent towards vents. And SMG crawling their way into the high ground. So taking their time right now, trying to stay away from the full set angles. Eventually, though, the execute is afoot, and Muffin is the first to fall. Alexi finding another one for the books, and it's just all SMG right now. It's up to Polly to try and hold things down onto the side, but there's no way she can find a pick there. As Elizabeth alone, the swing comes. Big pick onto Cammy, sure, but it's so much work to be done. And SMG is setting themselves up for a successful round.
anywhere near for her to retrieve as well as it drops. Javi takes her down, and that's one away from match point here with such a huge lead. FULLSENSE Sapphire have very little in terms of leeway for any sort of mistakes here. And coming in on the defensive side, that's a good timeout. Of course, the operator to come out for Melissa. I want to see if they're going to, without having that Sage anymore, to just instantly put a barrier up, to just instantly slow things down or cut off that mid. How will that come into effect? They are going to have to go 0 or 100 with this double duelist idea.
Yeah, I wonder what else FULLSENSE Sapphire really has in the bag here. I've been thinking, when have we seen much impact from Alyssa and Muffin throughout this game? There was that one round in the first half where they cleared out tower, but it's been a big struggle, especially for Muffin, who's such a star player for FULLSENSE Sapphire, a key component to finding those entries, and she's been denied again and again. Maybe a little bit of discomfort running this double duelist, just the lack of the utility hurting them in the long run. SMG's the one instead who's found so many moments, whether on that last round or that last half, to get the advantage.
So some bit to work with here for Sapphire, but one would argue they lose this round, that's it. Eco right after, even as great as they are, is definitely a difficult question for them to answer and respond to. Let's see if they answer the call though. SMG defaulting out to start things off. B main, they've already made their presence known there for sure. Mid has to be a suspicion for FULLSENSE Sapphire, and so you're going to wager that they're going to rotate over Ginny exactly as they do to try and gather a bit more information there, confirm if their suspicions are of any basis.
Yeah, and they're trying to suss things out with a Trailblazer. When you usually see a stairway position towards B early on, it really feels like FULLSENSE has been conditioned to know that SMG loves to play towards that B if ever. Veterinary now, big hit to begin with. Polly completely blinded, but Shirazi gets close enough to her sightlines, so she spots out that target. It's 4v4 though. For the time being, Camu finding another one, so big opening here for SMG. Polly though still with the fight back, and Polly's taking some big opportunities here. Camu will eventually be able to find her out. 3v2 though, as Plant looking to go on down. Baby TZ lobbing that snake back to keep Alexi away, but Camu taking a page out of Polly's playbook. A backstab with a Guardian. The Ops, the only one still standing here for FULLSENSE. And this should be a save as SMG take the site.
Hesitation there for sure. If Baby TZ simply just ran out of that CT to try and help Paulie, who was stuck on the pillar, there's a good chance they could have gotten the kill on the Camu, or at least the trade, at the very least. That's for certain. If she kind of hesitates, stutter steps, kind of anticipating maybe somebody coming from, you know, the deeper portion of the pillar, And obviously, hindsight is 2020, but you can see how small decisions made have dire consequences in the end. Match point for SMG early on, round 16 only. An op in the hands of FULLSENSE, but not much. Not much else.
It's not just that. This is grand finals point, basically. They're one round away from being one series away
Match
from
point.
going to Brazil. And we've seen all throughout here for SMG's year. Domination, victories, and just absolutely raising the bar throughout the Game Changers APAC scene. Declarations, perhaps, of how disciplined they've really become into the latter half of the year. And the past two maps have been the biggest examples of it, especially against the rival that has kept the closest against them.
Well, they're close, but job ain't done just yet. Celebrations to be held. Champagne only for the podium. SMG. Now they got a job to do. Even if they take this series, there's one final step. But it starts with this one. Sapphire still have that op. No real rifle on the opposing side. But not the worst buy for sure, but suboptimal. Has to be. Pushing, coming towards A. No real util to stop it. Isn't that the story here for FULLSENSE Sapphire? They don't have the same utility SMG do.
FULLSENSE Sapphire, it's been a struggle all throughout the game, and the guns prove it. Now then, the push coming in towards A. Kohibi's first one to get on the board, and it's up to Baby TZ to find big impact. Kohibi though with a second. There's just no stopping her and the rest of her squad. And as the spike goes down, it's 5v3. Look who's ready. Of course, it's Inari. She's ready to go for more. Showstopper flies, and Paulie will be denied. Alyssa holding on to that operator from the last round. Makes it count for one here. But there's no saving for the next round. This series might be over. Trailblazer dipping in and out. Kohibi's ready. Over onto the corner. Juggling the guns. This, as he said, is done. The Team SMG standard yet again. Another page of history written by them as they move to the grand finals.
I mean, a bit of a smile at the end there, but no celebrations just yet. As I said, champagne only for the podium, only for the top finish. And that has yet to be secured, but they do get the grand finals here early on. Do not have to go to the lower bracket with Sapphire. That's where they're going to have to pass. But for the meantime, SMG, we've come accustomed to these very dominating wins, but against Sapphire again, man, they have shown up today to show that they really are the star here of APAC.
They're not just stars, they're the standard. They are the bar that has been raised again and again and again. This now confirms it. 4 out of 4 grand finals appearances by Team SMG. 3 championships under their belts. And they're the biggest favorites right now APAC has ever seen in Game Changers history. What a powerhouse we have awaiting now in the grand finals. We'll throw it down to the panel to break down what just happened in the series.
Your first grand finalists? I mean, are we all surprised? Not exactly, because it's Team SMG and their win streak continues. What did they say to the gods of the lose streak? Not today. Definitely not today. And it's going to be really exciting indeed to see who is going to be there with them in the grand finals, especially that, you know, that slot lingering, that slot to Game Changers champions in Sao Paulo, Brazil. But this, Colden, I mean, like, we did have that interesting switch up with Alyssa onto the duelist, right? And I think that, like, it was a really interesting move. I think that Alyssa performed really, really well. It's just that it was Team SMG. I mean, you know, it's just so difficult. It's a tall order for her.
Yeah, if you look at the composition that FULLSENSE went with, they used to run a Sage, they swapped it out for a Jet. It's clearly tailored to that attacking side. It was clearly meant to do damage on the attack, and then, you know, with a buffer of attack rounds, close it out on the defending side. But when you only manage 2 rounds on your attacking side, and you win pistol on both, you know, both halves, you only manage to win 4 rounds in total. It's an incredibly tall hill to climb, and today, you know, not going to be the exception. SMG still on top, Inari MVP, 19 kills, 11 deaths, and I mean, again, like we always say in the in the SMG maps that we've witnessed, it's again a team effort. Every single player playing to the top of their game. And today, I would like to kind of surmise SMG, right? We witnessed a disciplined team with no egos. I rarely saw them make mistakes, rarely saw them go for over peaks. It was a coordinated attack. 15 first kills to 2. That is ridiculous, that difference. Even if it's a pretty one-sided scoreline, the first kills kind of, even out around the middle, but 15 to 2 is just out of this world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I love what you said that there's no ego. You can also see it in their gameplay, right? You know that these ladies are fully capable of maybe taking that 1v3, right? You do know, of course, everybody kind of like wants to go for that, but they have so much discipline that they will actually hold back for the entire team, for the betterment of the entire team. And it's also like, it's also because I guess it's responsible on their end, right? So, on the side of FULLSENSE Sapphire, though, I know this is incredibly painful to see history repeat itself over and over and over again. Unfortunately, though, they will drop to the lower bracket where they could start planning their revenge, perhaps. And I think for FULLSENSE Sapphire, there is still no underestimating this team whatsoever. I mean, we did see amazing plays. I actually do like the double duelist. I do like Alyssa on the duelist too. I wish we could see actually a little bit more from her. Anything else? Any other thoughts, Colden, before we head on over to break?
I would say the double duelist is a nice attempt. We didn't have any. It was so one-sided that we can't really break down on what was an individual error, or maybe Alyssa could have.
It's not a good sample of it. Yeah,
it's a complete team diff at that point, right? It's not just on the double duelist that didn't make it work. It was just the approach by SMG. Really, they did not make a single mistake. Every time they peaked, it was either with a bunch of util or with multiple players peaking at the same time. Trades were really on point, and we saw going into the defending half that Alyssa was actually planning to use that AWP. But I don't think she got a single shot off before the rest of her team died. In the last 2 rounds, she had saved the AWP, but she didn't have a single chance to fire it. I don't even know if SMG were aware that Alyssa had an AWP she was saving on the last round. So, I mean, to surmise that, SMG was just sublime today.
Yeah, and every single day since Open 1, they have been sublime, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so surprise, pretend to be shocked. Team SMG are your first grand finalists here on APAC Elite. Who will be with them? That remains to be seen. But we're going to take a pause from that first and return to our lower bracket where we find our RQ versus Nyx Kyosei. That is coming up in just a bit right after this quick break.
One enemy remaining.
Show me what you got. Back that up, 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 back back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. me what you got. Down, up, back, back, up, got. Down, up, back, back, 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 got. Ain't no reason to back down, so step it up. Got. Down, up, back, back, 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 got. Down, up, back, back,
Got the money in the bank.